In this video we're going to talk about how to get through the scripted events that are coming in a few years. We ask you to consider returning the energy shared in these videos through PayPal or Patreon to unlock flow for yourself and so that we can continue sharing the source truth and guidance. More empowerment and clarity to you. How did you experience that whole pandemic that was a little while back? Were you scared? Did you worry? Was it frightening? Did you care? You probably had to wear a mask, but did it affect you, really? And if it didn't, it's because your frequency were too high. You were someone who could make the best out of a situation. It didn't affect you. If the city you lived in was in lockdown and you had to stay home, you enjoyed being home. You didn't care about it whatsoever. And that's exactly what the other next pandemics are going to look like also. If it is the zombie apocalypse or whatever. If your frequency is too high to experience it, then you will not experience it. And if there is a lockdown for a period of time, you will be totally fine with it. Because you have learned to enjoy what is. And you won't sit and have second thoughts about it and be annoyed about it. Because your frequency is high. But if your frequency is low, so low that you will experience it, then you can simply take a look at the movies. And there are movies made around every aspect of the apocalypse, for example. You get to see somewhat how it all starts in the lab. You get to see what it's like to be trapped in your apartment, full of fear, to see your parents disappear, and your loved ones. You get to see what it is like to be in the streets and have to run. You get to see what it's like being attacked. It's all right there in the movies. But all of those things are in the lower frequencies. And in the higher frequencies, life will go on as normal. It's simply a different realm. It's a different dimension. And on a high frequency you can really understand that. You don't get to see all the things that goes on in your city, all the fights that might be in the streets at night, and all of the lower frequency things that are happening, because they're not really happening. You're on a totally different dimension. It's a different realm. You don't resonate with those things. The sun is going to disappear for a little while. There's going to be some alien invasion of some sort. There's going to be some sort of a zombie apocalypse. You're going to easily get through the things that you have to experience. Like, for example, if the sun disappears, it's going to get very cold, but that is just the way it is, and you will be fine with it, and you will enjoy yourself. And the things that you don't have to experience, like running in the street or being afraid, you simply will not experience. It won't have anything to do with you. So do you know that your frequency is high? Have you raised your frequency? Have you intended to get through those happenings in a high frequency way? Do not let it bother you. The best scenario would of course be to not be afraid of it, to not care about it, to have so high frequency that you can be completely neutral about it. And the easiest way to achieve that is to understand what I said in the beginning, that it's a different realm. it's a different dimension. It doesn't have anything to do with the higher dimensions. When you really grasp what I said there, then you have a powerful level of consciousness that is going to keep you at ease and peace. So, at any point through time, there is a lot of low frequency things happening in the world. It's just always been like that. But I am not experiencing it. We're not all experiencing all of those low frequency things. So we can probably agree that you don't want to experience the zombie apocalypse. And you don't want to freak out and freeze when the sun disappears. And there are many other low frequency things you don't either want to experience in this life. And many of them you don't care about. And essentially you just want your frequency to be so high that you are experiencing something else when all of these things are happening in the lower frequencies. You want to experience a high frequency, a different experience. And if you think it's difficult to handle the fact that those things are going to happen on the lower frequencies, and if you are fearful that you are going to experience it, then deal with those things. Take a look at what you're thinking. See if you can accept that those things, amongst many other things, are happening on the lower frequencies. And understand that it is in a different realm. It's not where you are going to be. You're going to be on a high frequency realm, a high frequency dimension. And that is what you use your intent on. To be in a high frequency, to be neutral about those things that can be upsetting about the zombies or whatever it should be that is low frequency. And recognize the things that are popping up. What are you actually afraid of? Can you be neutral about those things? Can you understand that they aren't happening on the higher frequencies? And if you're high frequency and you're not triggered by those things, because you understand that you are high frequency and they are low frequency and they cannot be experienced, then you can understand that your life will go on like normal. You will keep living your life, having your best life yet. And that would be what you are doing, even if there was no zombie apocalypse. But there still was a lot of low frequency things happening on the lower frequencies. Why did you choose not to care about those? So use your intent on being on a high frequency and deal with the things that are hindering you from being on a high frequency, so that you can experience a high frequency. Understand that there needs to be a frequency match for you to have an experience, and for you to have a high frequency experience in neutrality about low frequency things, then you need to have a high frequency. If you have benefited from this content, consider returning the energy through PayPal or Patreon. You get out of this whatever you put in. More empowerment and clarity to you. Thank you.